Okay, I'm in the basement checking on the seeds that I sowed. I've been getting kind of nervous, not gonna lie, because we don't have a lot of time.
Once upon a time, I sowed some seeds for a very special project. Someone very dear to me was getting married, and I was asked to grow seedlings as favors for her bridal shower guests. The problem was, I only had about a month to make it happen, which is a very tight timeline for growing plants to give away. So naturally, I said yes, because I am all for chaotic last-minute projects, growing things, and gifting things to people I love. But to no one's surprise, I may have thoroughly underestimated this undertaking. So in today's video, join me for the incredibly stressful but also very fun journey of bringing 50 bridal shower favors, quite literally, to life in under a month.
We don't have a lot of time, and the first round of things that I sowed had really poor germination. I'm not sure what the deal was. I think it's a little bit colder down here than it has been in past years. Everything I'm checking on today is really heat loving, like 75 to 85 degrees for germination. So I did use a heat mat. I'm really hoping, ooh, I see some, okay. So I have it at like 75. So we do have some basil peeking through. We have one right there, one behind it you can't really see, but that one's also germinating. So that's a good sign. Hopefully the rest of this basil will come up in the next couple days, and that generally grows pretty quickly. So if most of these germinate, we'll be in a lot better shape. Okay, first round of seed sowing had really poor germination. Again, not really sure why. Probably because the stakes are high, and that's when seeds decide not to germinate. But I'm gonna pot them up because they're in the really tiny blocks. I think potting them up, giving them a little bit more dirt does help them grow a little bit more quickly. And it also is gonna be less likely that they're gonna dry out. The small blocks, you have to be really on top of watering. All right, I'm using these today because I have them. And normally I would pot these up in bigger soil blocks, but it's less work to fill these. I have not been using these because I find that seedlings that I normally grow get root bound in here by the time I'm planting them out. But because these have such a short turnaround before I'm going to pot them into decorative pots and give them away, I really don't have to worry about them getting root bound in the next 2 weeks. So I'm going to pot these up just into here just because it's simpler, faster, and easier for something that's this short of a project. Just going to pop these out like that and pop them in there. That's all there is to it. All right, friends, it's the week of the shower, so we are down to the wire, but I think we have more than enough seedlings to plant and give away to people. So we made it. Pots just got here. I'll show you what they look like. So I think today I'm going to pot up what I have that's a good size and kind of take inventory of what I have, figure out how many of every plant I'm going to give away so that I can get the labels printed and get everything assembled. So I just got these basic terracotta pots. Thought they were the best option for cost without using plastic. I got, oh man. All right, well, we're gonna have to figure that out. I got the 4-inch size. The top measurement at the widest point is 4 inches. I thought this would be a good size where the seedlings aren't like super tiny in here. They don't look weird by the size of the pot, but it will give everybody a little bit of time to grow on in here before they have to pot up. All right, this audio is gonna be garbage because the sump pump is running because our basement flooded, but I'm just gonna show you what we've got so far. These are our beautiful little seedlings. We've got lots and lots of tomatoes, which are looking really nice. Then I've got some little baby cucumbers. These are still very small. These just germinated, but cucumbers grow so quickly. These will be like an inch taller in 4 days, so not worried about that. Over here, I've got some basil. The ones that are directly under the grow lights are looking much bigger, but again, these grow really quickly, so I'm not super worried about that. I am doing some of these bunny tails grass just because they're fun. I was planning to do more, but they didn't germinate well for me this year, so I have 5. I'm just gonna throw 5 in the pile for that, just to add to the numbers that we have to give away. And then in here, I've got my lavender. It's all looking great. I sowed this well before I even knew about this project. So they're looking better than anything else because I was already planning on growing them for myself. I just swapped out and sowed more for myself, and I'm going to use these for the favors. All in all, I have more than I need actually, so I'm going to be able to decide this week what looks the best, what I can use for this. I think I have about 70 usable seedlings, so I can decide what looks like the best size and looks the nicest by Saturday. We're gonna pop these little tiny babies up. So these have like 2 or 3 plants per block, and I want to get those separated, give them their best shot of sizing up as quickly as possible. For my beautiful plants, everything's looking really good. The small ones are peppers, which are not for this project. I just love tomatoes so much. They smell so good. They smell like summer. Ugh, it's great. This is gonna be the least aesthetic video of all time, but you know what? That's reality. Life is not usually aesthetic. Especially basements. Basements are not aesthetic. So welcome to my unaesthetic basement. Alright, I am just gently, very gently, I'm going to separate these blocks. These are all growing very close together, so gently rub the base of these until the roots separate. And once there's no dirt, you can just pull these apart like that. I will be able to separate these into separate pots, give them their best shot of growing as quickly as possible. You just want to be sure that you have pre-hydrated your soil a little bit. This soil right here, hang on. This soil right here is very dry, and when I spray water on it, it kind of, the hose pressure is a little high. Let me fix that. When I spray water on it, it kind of repels the moisture, so I can let this down, let this down, let this down. It looks wet, right? But then when you pull back, you can see all this dry soil is kind of repelling that moisture. You don't want that to happen when you bury your plants. It's very hard to water plants that are planted in very, very dry soil. So it's better to give that soil a little bit of moisture. It's already slightly damp, and then when you go to water, it's going to draw that water in a lot more easily. The thing about these is that I want them to look nice, so I'm going to have to be really careful with filling these. Normally, I'm a little bit haphazard. Things get messy. It's part of gardening. It's part of life. I'm going to try to fill these pretty carefully because I don't want these to look like my terracotta pots, which are very messy and dirty when I give them away at this very nice bridal shower. So I'm going to be a little bit precious with this, or try to be. Fingers crossed for me to not ruin this. I want the soil to be, you know, condensed in there well. I don't want to water it and have it all sink. I'm grabbing my seedling, just placing it in here, and then covering up, giving it a little press down. That's that. She looks a little sad, but I did just rip her home apart, so we'll give her a second to adjust, and I'm hoping that will really lead to these growing pretty quickly in the next 5 or 6 days so that we can give away a nice sized seedling for this shower. Alright, that's the first batch done. Some of these look really tiny. Fingers crossed they will grow fast in the next couple days. I'm hoping to have everything be kind of like this size by the time I give away, at least some like nice size looking true leaves. But we'll see. We'll see how they do. At least we have them. We have enough of them. They're alive. We did it. Super excited about that. I'm probably gonna call it a day. It's flooded in our basement right now. Styrofoam packaging on my glasses. Hello? Anyway, it's flooded in our basement right now, and I'm kind of sick of standing in a puddle and doing this, so I think I'm gonna call it a night. Finish the rest tomorrow. Hopefully finish the rest tomorrow. And get a good inventory so I can get the cards printed.
So to make these plants look more put together and like favors, I made these cute little tags in Canva. I also wanted to give some guidance to guests who don't garden. So one side has a thank you message, and on the other side, I labeled what kind of plant they're getting and added some basic information, if they could be grown in containers, if they needed to be planted outside, size of the mature plant, how much sun they needed, etc. I started by browsing for inspiration and then cut and pasted some different elements from other templates that I liked. I searched for some additional kind of sketchy flower graphics and just played around with a couple different versions for the thank you side. Then I wrote out all the different plants that I was growing, and I searched for some sketchy or watercolor style graphics for each of those plants. I played around with a couple different versions and added those graphics to each side. Then I found these little symbols for the different attributes like sun and whether they could be grown in containers. And I added the specific info that I thought would be helpful for each plant. And now we have these really cute cards to decorate and label the favors. This file is very chaotic, but I've got a cleaned up template version that's free if you want to give a plant as a gift or replicate these as favors. Check the description to get my template for this.
I won't make a sound, I won't slow you down. I knew we were on borrowed time, just a passing streak, nothing you would keep. I fell in too deep. And as far as at least how I remember, we were leaving in September, when red and gold paint the sky. And as far as though maybe I pretended, oh, I wish it never ended. I held on with all my might, still waiting on that last goodbye. See you standing by the door, watching the leaves as they fall once more. And the silence we made, I couldn't find the words to say. They linger in my mind. Oh, I wished you'd stay. Oh, I wished you'd stay. September, when red and gold paint the sky. And as far as I thought, maybe I pretended, oh, I wish it never ended. I held on with all my might, still waiting on the last goodbye. Last goodbye. Last goodbye. Last goodbye.
All right, so in a shocking turn of events, I once again misjudged how much time something would take. I did not realize how long that repotting was going to take. I thought it was going to take like 45 minutes, an hour. It took 2.5. So a little behind schedule. Now I'm going to cut out all the tags. I got the tags back from the printer and they look really good. I'm really excited. I did test one just to make sure my method was going to work. But I didn't cut them all out yet because I wasn't exactly sure how many of every plant there was going to be. I had like some buffer in there. I wanted to pick the best looking plants of everything. So they look like this. They're really cute. I put little graphics on there for each plant and info about each plant. They look super cute. I'm just gonna cut them out. What I'm gonna do is stick them on each side of a toothpick. So I cut them out, glue one on each side, and then I'm just gonna stick them in the dirt like that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna cut them all out, glue them all, and I'll probably stick them in the plants tomorrow. Anyway, here we go. It's so late and I'm so tired, but we're gonna do it. All right, just woke up. It's like 7:30. Got a whopping 4.5 hours of sleep last night, so we're doing great. I'm gonna make some breakfast, drink some tea, and then start grabbing all the pots from the basement, get everything packed up, get everything assembled, and leave by 11. Let's do it.
Way back when, before the grown-up phase, we're one best friend. It was easy going roll. Life was anything but fair, but somehow we didn't care. Way back then, we saw all the movies on a big screen when we couldn't afford to pay the price. We snuck in through the back, hearts racing as the lights went black. Hold up, when did we grow up? When did dreams give way to plans? Wonder slipped through our hands. Just hold up, just hold up. Way back now, I watched him in the yard and wonder how the world still feels that wild.